Dream Bees. I have been away from this channel for quite some time, really diving into my personal practice of yoga as well as focusing on my teaching outside. So I am coming back here with more inspiration, more insight, trying to bring our yoga practice a bit more meaning. So it's going to be a little bit more casual yoga insights on and off the mat, trying to get you the answers to some of those questions that you might have. Maybe you're doing yoga teacher trainings or yoga retreats and there's certain concepts that you don't understand or that you have questions about. I want to bring us back here and have a community where we can really go through them, keeping us really inspired. So thank you for being here. Our topic of today is going into yoga philosophy. Our yoga philosophy is Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga. Now, yoga is this tradition that has been passed on for thousands and thousands of years. It is something that, with dedication, with time and practice, we're trying to get to this state of enlightenment. And Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga are this path to enlightenment. And we hear a lot about it nowadays in media, society. What is it mean to be enlightened or awakened? Are you going to check off all of these 8 limbs and then one day have this big revelation, your world is changed, you are going to never be miserable or sad ever again? Probably not. It is coming from a place of practice. That's the most important thing. So this path are different techniques and practices that yogis use to get to that feeling of bliss, of happiness, and most importantly of higher consciousness. So being more aware of ourselves, being more aware of the world and how it's all connected. Now, when I think of enlightenment, I really don't see it as something that you are trying to grab. It's something that's so far away, so out of reach, especially when we deal with words like universe and cosmos. Is this something that is so far away, so unattainable? Try to bring yourself to this sense of enlightenment. It is something that you were born with. It is natural and it comes from within. So it's a little bit less scary if we think about coming back to our nature, coming back to ourselves and our being, as opposed to, oh, I have to grab this thing that is just so out of reach. Try to make it feel a bit more simple and know that it's already there. It's all within you. So let's go into these 8 limbs. The first limb is Yama. So our Yamas, these are our ethical and moral views of the outside world. So how do we want to be a human in this world? What are ways that we can be a better person in this world? It can be really simple. It could be as simple as just being a kind friend, being a kind human to a stranger on the street. We specifically have 5 yamas. So we have ahimsa, non-violence. We have satya, truthfulness, truth. Asteya, which is non-stealing. Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya can be our restraining from the senses, non-lustfulness. And aparigraha. Aparigraha is non-attachment, non-possessiveness. Now, any of the things that I'm mentioning in different trainings or even in different texts can be described slightly differently. So feel free to share what you've learned, share your experiences, be kind and thoughtful towards everyone, but also really share your knowledge that you have as well. So if I've said something that you've learned differently, feel free to write in the comments and let us start a positive conversation, just getting us all closer to our own yoga practice. Our next limb is Niyama, or our Niyamas. Those are our moral and ethical views that are coming from our internal world. So the ways that you want to be a better person for yourself. These include, there are 5 niyamas as well, which includes saucha, which is purity, cleanliness. Number 2, which is santosha, or contentment, or happiness. Tapas, which we can describe also as self-discipline, liberating yourselves from being attached, liberating yourself from your senses. Also svadhyaya, which is going into sacred scripture. It can be the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, words of wisdom. And our 5th one, which is our svara pranidhana, which can be your commitment to the Lord, your commitment to spirituality, your commitment to a yoga teacher or guru, just ways that you better yourself through your practice. Our 3rd limb of yoga are asanas, the most popular, the most famous. It can be asanas just doing postures, it can be your yoga flow, practicing your morning hatha yoga, your vinyasa, your yin, ways that you strengthen your body, ways that you strengthen your muscles. Now, when we look at yoga in society, we're just seeing asanas as the entirety of our practice. That if you do yoga every single day, you're going to feel better on the inside, you're going to connect your body, your mind, and your spirit. And yes, yoga has so many beautiful benefits. Yoga is really the thing that kind of gets us, most of us, into our journey. Yoga can be that first thing that inspired you to start a journey. But yoga can be so much more than that, and we can take that yoga practice and learn its lessons and then go even farther and beyond. So in yoga, our asanas is our preparation for meditation. We're strengthening the muscles, we're gaining oxygen by breathing deeply, and then once you're done your shavasana, come back to a seated position, and that's when you start going into your meditation. So asanas are really made on purpose to get you to that meditative state. So even though it is great to just do a yoga flow really quick and then go back into your everyday lives, we can take that yoga flow and bring it more meaning and try to go deeper into our practice right after. So remember that next time you do your yoga flow, try to sit with yourself for a couple minutes and just feel all those effects of your body, and then start going into your mind. And that's going to lead us into our next limb of yoga, which is our pranayama. Pranayama is that beautiful sense of a life energy. So prana meaning vital force, life force, and our ayama meaning this expansion and control of that life force. It can be described differently in different teachings, but using your breath to bring you to that next state of consciousness. So once you've done your asanas, you've done your yoga flow, you've done your shavasana, you're ready to come back, sit down, and just breathe. Getting even more oxygen up into the brain and settling all that energy in between your eyes where your third eye is. And pranayama comes with many techniques. There are techniques to feel cooling breath, warm breath, energizing, de-stressing, and relaxing. There's so many pranayamas that can get you to different places. Our 5th limb of yoga is pratyahara. So once you have done your yoga practice, gone into pranayama breathing, pratyahara is a next level where you start to control your senses now. So you've become still. Your body is ready to be still. Now we're going to see how you control your senses. Are you aware of all the noises around you? What do you hear? What do you smell? Can you control your body to not move, to not touch anything? We're just getting deeper and deeper. 6th limb, which is dharana. Now dharana is a beautiful limb because it's something that can really remind you, be that little light bulb, even in your everyday life, to come to a sense of concentration. In your yoga flow, you concentrate on every practice, on every pose, on the feeling, on the stretch. In your pranayama, you focus on the breath. Once all of that is done, now you're just focused on whatever you need. Focus on your third eye. Focus every bit of you here, above your head. It's something that even when you're stressed in the world, you can always come back to your dharana, because you have the control. You can bring focus. Our seventh limb of yoga is dhyana, meditation. So we can really feel how this step-by-step process was bringing us to this moment, to our meditation. You've done the flow, you've breathed in and out, you've controlled your senses. Now you're still and focused. It's going to be so much easier to meditate. Most people, they'll do a meditation practice maybe 5 to 10 minutes in the morning, maybe a little bit at lunch or at night. And without all of those steps, it's really hard to just stop your mind, especially if you've had a hard day, if you're really stressed, if you're feeling hormonal, sitting there without any preparation and just trying to close your eyes. No wonder we have so many thoughts, because we haven't slowed anything down. We haven't slowed our muscles, our nerves are still really active. So taking those limbs gets you to that place where you're ready to meditate. And now you just gotta sit there, enjoy, and let all those benefits come into your mind, into your head. And that is where our last limb of yoga comes in, samadhi. Samadhi is your enlightenment. It is the result of practicing with devotion all of these steps, that feeling that you have. And this could be something that you might not achieve in 1 or 2 years of doing these practices. It may take an entire lifetime, it may take many lifetimes, but samadhi, we can sometimes get glimpses of it in moments where we are so calm and so content. We just get that feeling that everything is all right, that your essence and your being, your soul energy is so good, it is so pure, and just like the energy around you, the energy of the universe, it is natural, it is good, and it is pure, and you are connected to that. So those glimpses of samadhi is inspiration to know that you are divine, everything around you is divine. So I hope this gives you a little bit more insight. I hope this inspires you to take your practice everywhere you go, in the outside world, in the inside world, on your mat and beyond. Thank you so much for listening. Have a beautiful day, and namaste.